Welcome back to the channel, everyone. You're here with Dave from Mad for Heli. Today, build series 1 of the TB70 Super Combo. I'm going to go through the manual. We're starting with the head. As you can see, the head comes pre-assembled. Some people like it, I don't. Means I've just got to pull it apart again. Got the instructions to show me how to go through it. Don't really need it together, but anyway, I'll might fast forward the pulling apart, or we will just have it apart. So let's give this a go. All right, as you can see, we have the head all laid out. Basically how it goes together, this is what I like to do, line it up, and then it's easy, just bang, 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 get it all together. The holes, bit of contact cleaner. I like to just, everything's kind of wet from factory, as in oily wet. So for me, I've just got a bin over here. You blow the holes out. It's good, you give it a wipe down once it's done. In the holes here, I like it nice and dry. The cleaner the contact area, the less Loctite you have to use. Give that a blowout. The joys of contact cleaner is it basically just dries up. So give it a nice little wipe down, make it all shiny again. And we're ready to go. All right, grease. You know, we're talking about toys here, toy helicopters that we use. I do prefer real butter, but it's very expensive and I can't get it. I don't want to pay for it, but at home I've got real butter. I'm not home at the moment, but real lube, I like, I don't know, marine grease, fishing real grease. Does the trick, to be honest. You can use anything you want out there. That's what I use. Sometimes I use, geez, I've been using this stuff. Inox, marine grease, whatever, synthetic grease, suitable for rubber. I don't know, people go crazy on what greases they wear. Again, it's a toy helicopter. I've had no dramas throughout my years of flying helis, to tell you that. Anyway, so dampers going first. The plastic inserts in there, I didn't feel like taking that out. I don't feel like mucking around, scratching all the anodizing up. Dampers go in. For these ones, chamfer to the outside. So what I do like to do though is just put a little grease on the inside. Just put a bit of grease on the damper. And we'll push it in there. Put a bit of grease on this one. Just help slide it up. You do want these to move around. You don't want them to be stiff. You don't want them to jam in there. It's a dampener. It needs to, you know, move with the head and be able to do what it's got to do. It's got to be able to squish. So get it messy. Let's get messy. Anyway, dampers in. I did have trouble getting the screw out. Good old Mad for Heli come through with the goods. Picked up one of these. This is the 8mm and 10mm. Just tried to use it. Mate, I tell you what, just, if you don't have one, I'm telling you, for years I've been using damn vice grips and pliers, and I stuck this on just before to get one of these out, and it's very nice, I tell you. Do yourself a favor, spend 30 bucks and get one. Best 30 bucks was spent probably this year. All right, main shaft. We've sprayed it. Now, careful not to get grease in the hole. You don't want grease in the hole. So many people get grease in the hole. Don't put grease on the shaft yet. All right. Remember, only this much is in the shaft. So why are you greasing the front up for? Get it in the shaft so you don't get grease down the end, and then lube her up. You don't need to put it on the whole shaft. And we push it in. Half of it wipes off anyway. Right, and then we put on the other side like this. Close enough for me. Nice and lubed up. Make sure you got rags with you with this. It's very messy. Don't spray contact cleaner on your fingers. It just dries your fingers out. Alright, I haven't packed the bearings. I was going to show you what I do here. I like to face my races, the open race to the inside, so inertia holds the grease in. Set of tweezers. Get yourself a set of tweezers. I like to just hold it. Don't need a lot. I just like to fill the gaps with the grease. Yes, I'm mixing grease with what Align put in there. Don't care. It's not a bigatti. I'll do the other one. Remember, a lot of this grease comes out as well. It does fling out. Alright, that's on. Washers. This is getting real pedantic now, but I work in construction. You know, like I said, I'm a machinist or mechie fitter, and the way these are punched out in the machine, I like the round edges to be on the outside, nice flat edge on the inside. So, washers on. Bet you I've got the wrong washer there. I think that little one, let me just check which one goes on there. 19 by 13. Don't mind me here, confusing myself. It's upside down. Everything's upside down. You're an idiot, mate. That way. All right. Washers on. Inner race. Inner race. This is going to be upside down for you lot, but we've got 10 millimeters. 10.32. Smaller one always goes to the inside, the outer one, larger one to the outside to allow for that movement. All right. So that's the spacer. Now these all go in the head. So don't put the head on yet. What we do is we sit that up like that. We get our first race. This is the way I do it with my tweezers, and just like playing operation. Now, like I said, race down. Don't worry about the grease. So much easier doing it this way with tweezers. Tweezers I found the best. And I like to just put a little bit around out. I'll do this one while we're going. Just a little bit of grease on that. Put that washer on last. Or was that washer meant to go on first? Yep. See, we're gonna learn here, peeps. We're gonna learn. Flip that over. Washer in first. Bit of hair on there. Right. It even says it on there if you can't see. For the camera, I'm not sure if you can see it. It does say out, and it does say in on that. So some manufacturers don't etch that on, and it's a guessing game. Get yourself a set of digital verniers. King Chrome, pretty good. I'm a Mitutoyo fan, but King Chrome is fine. Fine for what we're doing. I do prefer manual ones. And then that's ready to go on. This one, starting from the outside. Washer. Out. See, I'm confusing myself here. Totally confusing myself. I work long hours, guys. Sorry. Guys, girls. We got some girls watching this. Shout out if you're a girl. Leave us a comment below. Good to see some gals in the hobby. We need it. Definitely need it. Tame all those males down out there. Just double check. We've got out there inner. Now if you wanted to check, you just throw your vernier on there. Throw that in. Just because the outside's dry, just because your balls are dry, your outer balls are dry, don't forget that they spin inside and pick up all the grease. So that's why you don't need a lot of grease on the outside. Majority of that stuff on the outside you'll lose anyway. Screws, you can see that they're all oily, greasy. Give them a spray down. I just sprayed into a bin. It dries yet anyway. It doesn't matter. Just if you're a smoker, maybe just be careful where you're doing it. Dry them off. Ready to go. Now, like I said before, you don't want to get grease down in your holes here. So what you do is, I don't know if you can see down there, but my trusty little torch here. Don't know if you can see down there, there's little tabs of grease. Well, I just get a small screwdriver and just clean that out so it doesn't leave dags of grease, because those dags of grease will stick to the end, and when you go to shove the bolt in, you're just pushing grease in with it. Oh. Alright. Roll that around in that. It's looking good. This will come in handy later. I'll show you what we do. There's two ways you can Loctite those tabs up, and I'll run you through it. The old packets that stuff's come out of the trusty tab. Sometimes you can just use your Loctite individually on a bolt. I like to just get a bit of plastic, especially doing a build. We'll just keep that to the side, and it'll be like my little my sauce tray, my little soy sauce. Just dip it in there to put the lube on the bolts, the Loctite, I should say. All right, doesn't matter what side first, but what I like to do with this Loctite, for those of you with shaky hands, for those of you who don't have a shaky hand and can line stuff up, you can put the Loctite on the bolt first and get it down in there, or you can get a small screwdriver and just wick it up on the screwdriver and just, I'll show you. So you get the Loctite on there and just basically wipe it off in there. A little bit of that. Don't be shy. Remember, Loctite means you don't have to do them up tight. Remember, wipe the excess off, and we're going to put it on. So, just very carefully. Now, I tell you what, this is probably, out of all the helis I've built, the way the main shaft goes through that center bearing, the machining is, the tolerance is, it's basically a 0 to 0. It's almost an interference fit. It's very nice. Now, we don't tip that over yet because we will lose our bearings. So we will be, if your hands are greasy, don't be touching all the screws, and just carefully get it down in there. And tighten it up. Now this pulls it through. Just pulling it down, and just a little nip. Done. That one's on. Next one goes on. Not a speck of grease has gone into that. So Loctite is already in there. Straight in. This did not come with a shim kit, I don't think. tell you what, you don't even need it. Allen key. Don't buy king chrome Allen keys, they're shit. And we are just giving it a, we're not reefing on it hard, we are just tightening it up. Firm. That's what Loctite's for. Alright. Here is our head done, and I'll tell you what, it's firm, yet it moves. It's honestly perfect. No need for 0.2 shims or a 0.1 shim. There is no slop in that whatsoever. There is no ratcheting, no notching. I'm quite impressed with that. Quite impressed. I think maybe we could have left a small groove out in the top of that for some oil later on. Don't forget, if you use your rotor heads for a long time without servicing, your grease can go dry and hard, and a drop of oil in there and the inertia spreads that oil up your shaft and through everything, and it eventually will reach your I know some manufacturers put a hole in here and just a dab of oil just loosens everything up again, and you know, you can get another 50 flights out of it just with a drop of oil. All right, so next we've got washout arms and main arms, whatever you call them, the main arms, I suppose. So don't forget with these, everything's got to come out and get Loctited. Now, before you put the main arms in, you can see this is where they go. Don't have them upside down. They do go with the writing facing up, because once you've installed them both and then put the ball in, you can't actually physically put them back over. They normally hit here and you've got to undo them again and ruin your Loctite. So yeah, let's put them in. So for those of you who can't see where my parts are organized in a tray. Pulling stuff apart makes it so much easier. You can put it in baggies. I like to put all my stuff in this. You can put it to the side, but you know, you've got these small containers. Just take some pride in your workstation and you won't lose stuff. A mat's a must. All right, let's fit these up. Let's just get a feel of this machining. Like, tolerances is the best I've seen from a line, you know. I like working on sub because tolerances are on point, but I can't fault this yet. I cannot. Got all the screws laid out. I don't bother spraying any more screws. That's it. That's certain bolts that I spray, get all the oil off. You know, 243, I don't think it's oil resistant, but honestly, I've never had a drama with it. We're not going overboard. It's a drop. It's a drop. That's all it does. You're talking a 0.7 mil pitch thread, possibly even smaller on this. There's no need to cake it with Loctite. First screw, put it through. It's much easier to line up. Don't firm it up yet. Just dabbing it, just a small dab on one side is all you need. It's all you need. It locks it up. I can't emphasize that enough. I pull apart so many secondhand models, and there's white stuff coming out of everywhere. Now let's not stuff this up. And you want these firm, like I said. All firm. Just double check. I like just to go back a second time. Now, a line have always had shallow head screws, as in the head here have always been real shallow. So just make sure, I'm gonna just say it with a line, I haven't met it anywhere else, just with a line. Honestly, use a good set of drivers and push it right in there. Make your mark in there. Last thing you want to do is round a head off when you're maiden build here. All right, looking good. It's not a bad red. It's not bright. It's like a deep red. All right, ball links. Just a dab. I'm just dabbing it on. Make sure these are tight. That's probably a little bit tighter than normal, these ones. It's one thread. A lot of rotation on these, that's why. So, different story. This is static. There's a rotation. There's the ball link rotates on this. So for me, a little bit tighter than everything else. You know, it's a 2mm driver. Don't strip it. All right. Looking good, looking good. Washout arms. Now, be careful with this. The washout arms do not have a clamping effect. So it looks like they only screw into one side here. So you can see here, should hold that round. It's got around 6mm to bite into, and that's your Jesus bolt goes through there. All right, let's make sure they're going the right way here. Name tag to the outside. So let's follow this. Goes like that. He's a bit of a bugger to get in there, to be honest. Don't know if I'm a fan of this. There we go. Now we want opposites. So sit them opposite like that, and then that just goes there like that. Very easy. It's easy just to lay it out. Remember, it's mirrored. It's not opposite, it's, I should say, mirrored. All right. It's in there. Let's get our bearings in there. I don't glue my bearings. Sorry. Some people gotta glue your bearings. Never had dramas. I can't fly. I don't notice it. Washers. Stick your washers on your screw before you put your Loctite, otherwise you're just gonna drag it all up your screw. And I hate Loctite under the head. Happens sometimes when you put a bit too much on, but I hate it under the head. It's annoying. There are collars inside here. I didn't take these bearings out, they stayed in. And the washer does go on the outside. Now the washer picks up the inner race. So for those who don't understand how washers work, you've got an outer race that's static, but an inner race. If you don't have something that touches, the inner race, sometimes you can lock it, or if you'll lock on the outside, and that's not what it's meant to do. It locks on the inside race and allows that to turn only. That's why we have these small little washers, to make sure that we're picking up the inside race and not putting pressure down on the outer seal. All right, let's figure out which way these got to go on. So if we're holding the head up like that, they go on. I hope I've done this right. Totally looks like I've got this the right way. Okay. Now, don't put your Loctite on the bolt yet. It's key, because you put Loctite on this now, and you're going to put it through here. Where's all your Loctite going? It's all going inside your bearing, inside your collar. Put your screw through. Get the right spanner, the right driver. Again, align it. You know, the screws are nice and tight. It's great, but you've got to get them in there. This is where I'll use the bottle. Put way too much on there. All right, we've got a dab on there. We'll get this in. Don't cross thread this one, whatever you do. So washout arm, it's got bearings. It's not like a friction This is a friction rotating joint. This has got bearings, so, and it's got washers. They're tiny bearings. Don't tighten it up tight. Give it a feel. Perfect. Bearings are falling out. I might have to glue these ones in. Yep. Oh no, there's a screw that goes through there. You idiot. Okay. Forgot that. Put the screws in here. Just wondering what these little screws were for. Just make sure it still pivots. Now, because these are such a small head, they miss the seal and they really just seat on the inside race. Beautiful. That's all good there. And that goes on. Should do it that way for you. That goes on there like that. Put your screw through. Get your driver in there. Get it seated right in there. And we'll put it, wow, it's coming out way too thick. If you put too much on there, don't leave it on there. Don't be like, it'll be right, more Loctite. No. Wipe it off. And just go in there lightly. Start the hole. Don't want to strip it, it's only aluminium. Aluminum for you Americans. All right. Beautiful. All right. That concludes our head. Very nice. See what happens, you can't turn it. All right. Comment below if you do something different or see something you like.